Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. Today is July 30th, and it's the first of a two-day meeting with the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve's Open Market Committee, and we're going to see what they do. But silver and gold are having a little bit of a reaction, seeing a little bit of gain as we await the Fed decision as to whether or not they're going to cut rates a quarter point or half point. Let's explore. So this little article comes to us from Kitco. Jim Wyckoff, gold to silver, they see some gains as we await the Fed decision. Gold and silver prices are higher in midday U.S. trading Tuesday. The bulls are still enjoying the solid technical advantage, which suggests price action will remain sideways to higher in the near term. The precious metal bulls are also expecting more good news to come their way from the Federal Reserve on Wednesday. August gold futures were last up $8.40 an ounce at $1,428.80. September COMEX silver prices were last up 0.12 cents at $16.56 an ounce. The main economic event of the week began on Tuesday morning when the Federal Reserve's Open Market Committee gathered to determine monetary policy. The Fed is expected to lower interest rates at the conclusion of the meeting Wednesday afternoon. The precious metal bulls will be sorely disappointed if the Fed does not make a U.S. rate cut. Most market watchers think a quarter-point interest rate reduction is in the cards, but the metals would likely get a bigger boost if the Fed did a less likely half-a-point rate cut. And I believe that's highly unlikely that they're going to cut it that much. Jerome Powell is known as being very, conservative in his movements, and we probably won't see that much of a rate cut. On Friday, the U.S. employment situation for a report for July is out. The key non-farm payrolls numbers are expected to be up around 165,000. In June, non-farm payrolls were up 224,000. If we do see a good report for jobs by Friday, we could see the gains from this rate cut possibly be subsided a bit, which I think is kind of part and parcel is why some of these people suggest sideways action in the coming week or so. We'll see here. The World Gold Council reported emerging central banks are purchasing gold at a faster pace this summer. Lower government bond yields are attracting more buying interest in the yellow metal, and I think that's also has something to do with why gold especially has been performing well over the months here, and really for the first half of this year. It's been pretty amazing to see how gold has performed in comparison to silver, and I think that's part and parcel to the central bank buying for nations like China and Russia. And other nations too. I don't know what Turkey's reserves, but they've been buying a lot of gold, and India as well. Also in focus this week is the U.S.-China trade talks that have resumed at a high level. U.S. Treasury Secretary Mnuchin and U.S. Representative Lithizer are in Shanghai for discussions that began today. Expectations are low-key for any significant breakthroughs. Yes, we'll see here. The key outside markets today see NYMEX crude oil prices trading higher around $57.25 a barrel. The U.S. dollar index is slightly up today and hit another new high for the year. And by the way, oil is traded. And, I think a lot of this is going to happen with these trade talks that could be very good news. Perhaps not. It's a good thing they are keeping it low key because and also considering we may see these trade talks, if something does good come out of it, then it could wash away all of the gains that are essentially baked in from the whatever the Fed announces, whether it be a quarter point or, a half point. I don't think it would be enough to get rid of take those gains away. We shall see. Technically, August gold futures prices closed near the session high. The bulls have the firm overall near-term technical advantage, and in keeping in place a 2-month-old uptrend in the daily chart. Gold Bull's next upside near-term price breakout objective is to produce a close above solid technical resistance at the July high of $1,454.40. Bear's next near-term downside price breakout objective is pushing prices below solid technical support at the July low of $1,384.70. First resistance is seen at last week's high of $1,434.10 and then at $1,442. First support is seen at $1,420 and then at last week's low of $1,414.60, which is Wyckoff's market rating of 7.5. September silver prices closed near the session high today. We can see it's been pretty steady upwards here. The silver bulls have solid overall near-term technical advantage. Prices are in a 2-month-old uptrend on the daily bar chart. Yes, silver is back in the game now, folks. I think that's quite exciting that we're seeing silver. And a lot of it is because gold has been accumulated a lot by these central banks, Russia, China, and others. They've been getting at a record pace, and I think that's had an impact on the price. Silver Bull's next upside price breakout objective is closing prices above solid technical resistance at $17 an ounce. Is that kind of the ceiling? The next downside price breakout objective for the bears is closing prices below solid support at $15.83. Now, think about that for a moment. That is the bottom. That's the floor. That's a bottom. So it wasn't that long ago when we would have been flowing overjoyed by that high silver price, seeing solidly above $15.50. Now that's the new floor. And it's amazing because considering where we've been for languishing with silver prices for quite some time now, and here they are performing quite well along with gold here, or at least keeping up, and for sure. And silver's back in the game as a hedge and preserving our wealth, moving along with gold. It does not take away what I've said before about silver being that commodity, but also I think it's quite fascinating to see that it is moving along with silver, and it is also performing as what we say, this hedge, and as money, gold and silver being money. Dormant money, but money nonetheless. First resistance is seen at last week's high of $16.68, then at $16.75. Next support is seen at today's low of $16.42, and then at $16.34. Wyckoff's market rating there is at 7.5 cents as well. September New York copper closed down 355 points at 268.20 cents today. Its prices closed near the session low today. Yeah, I think that's reacting based off the dollar's strength. Copper, a very weird metal in a sense. It is the only of the metals out there that I've talked about in the past as copper being money as well. And copper is the only of the metals, gold, silver, copper, that is still being used as in currency around the world today. Here in the United States, we have it in the nickel, in the dime, and in the quarter. Those are the spending money there. So fascinating indeed. There it is. Now we'll see how this all plays out. I think it is quite fascinating to see these metals move here, especially in anticipation of what the Fed's going to do. We talked about, raising it or cutting rates a quarter point. But if they do cut them a half point, I think that's going to cause the metals to go up quite a bit. But depending on what they do with trade and how that closes out, if the deal works out and our legislatures in the three nations, the United States, Mexico, and Canada, approve it, I think that's going to be quite a big boost for the economy. But right now, I don't know that any of the three legislative bodies have made any movement. If anybody else knows whether Canada or Mexico have, I know the United States has not. But we'll see how that plays out. And of course, trade talks with China. If there's any positive movement in that direction, I think there's a long way to go before we get to a deal with China, though. It's the toughest customer. It's the biggest one out there. We have to kind of take into account and see where things move. Going to be interesting indeed. Post your thoughts below. We'll see what happens today, or we'll see what happens tomorrow with their decision. And with Friday's job numbers, I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to y'all for watching, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.